Hi everyone, and welcome back to another dance that we love so much. This is a shout out to Gary. Thank you for your suggestion. Today's workout is going to be on the stomach vacuum. So the stomach vacuum, I don't actually use it to get my abs fit, or some people use it to look thinner and to get a smaller waist. I use vacuums, and I've always used vacuums even before I even knew that it was called a vacuum, to kind of stretch out and restore my spine and my tummy and my insides back to some kind of neutral. And I've always felt like it feels good at the end of a workout to do it. I don't know, it just feels like you put everything back into alignment. So that's why I really love this, and I really recommend everyone to do this. Even if you don't do it as a workout, you should probably do it as a way of just putting everything back together and just, yeah. In ballet dance, especially in ballet dance, you do a lot of abdominal stuff, and sometimes when you do belly rolls, for example, you might put your skeletal structure into it. So when you do that, sometimes you have to be very careful how you do it, and we tend to abuse it. Well, we don't want to abuse our bodies, but sometimes we just lose track of what we're doing, and we're trying to get like that big move. And so doing the tummy vacuums at the end just feels so good. And if you are performing anywhere, you don't need the space to do it. You don't need the ground. So some of the vacuums that I'm going to be doing is actually standing up. So you can just do it after your performance or any dance class to just stretch it out. And I think naturally a lot of people do it because it just feels right to do. Anyway, so we'll get started. So I was saying a little earlier on that as when you dance, sometimes you can not be very careful. So for example, you do a lot of this and a lot of staccato moves, and you are using your spine to do that. So naturally, the first thing I want to do is, because if I do this repeatedly, I just want to do a relieve my back. So in the standing position, after you've done a performance, you can actually just simply stretch it up. Bring it up, bring your abs up, your chest up, your rib cage up, engaged, and then not necessarily your tummy to start with, but just up, just a stretch, and then you can engage your tummy by just slightly bending your knees and bringing your tummy in, and then you can probably bend your knees more and bring it in. I tend to like to do it in a slow wave type of motion, so I don't tend to go and lock into a particular pose or tension. I like to spread the tension and move it around and stretch it and tense it and just move the range, just have a range of motion. You can probably bend your knees and do a slight arch while concentrating on your tummy, and then bring it in, bend your knees, go down and engage it, and stretch back out. bend your knees, squat slightly, and you'll feel it. You'll feel stretches along here and along your back. So it's more of a holistic approach, if you want to call it. So if you want, you can also bend your back knee, bend your front, and try and engage those muscles again. Stretch it out, back, and stretch it forward. Stretch it in, stretch it up. Same thing. Stretch it up. Slight arch. And then bend. And then bring it in. So that's how you can swap the sides. And it feels great. It really does. So now, if you wanted to, you could do this. This is another sort of standing, squatting, bending position, if you want to call it. But it's quite effective. I love doing it, which is kind of come down, you bend at your buttocks, and you feel like you're pushing your chest up against the gravity, and what you do is you use your hands to push against your legs so you can further stretch it and get a vacuum going as well. So, for example, I'm pushing now with my hands as well while pushing my butt up, and then bringing it in, bending your back, and you can see there's a stretch now and a tension, but I never make the tension painful. It's always like a nice, pleasant tension, stretch sort of feeling, just slowly engaging, releasing, tensing, and doing that range of motion that I was speaking about earlier, and it just feels so great. And I'm using my hands to push against it. So doing it in this way, more of a holistic sort of approach, you'll find that you will also become more flexible in other places, and it actually will help you in whatever workout you do in the future, because you've got more of a range of motion, so that when you're doing your workout later on, you know, you don't end up popping anything or doing anything that injures you. And I found that one of the most effective stretching, the way to stretch your muscles is by tensing them and releasing them. But when you release them, you don't just let them completely relax. The release is more using like your other range of muscles to release it, if that makes any sense. So the idea is not just to let go completely of any of your muscles and just let your skeletal structure just take it. I find that a little bit scary and a bit dangerous to do. You will always use your surrounding muscles to stretch a particular muscle, or you tense the muscle and then slowly release it. Or you can release that muscle by using other muscles and engaging other muscles. Never let go and never let anything just hang off your skeletal structure. without any backup. So that's the whole idea of what I'm doing. That's what I mean by stretching and releasing. When I say release, don't just release any form of tension. It's really releasing the tension of a certain area. And so you will release the tension, and then you will bring the tension back and release it and bring it back. But the release of the tension means that another muscle is going to be engaged. Instead of you release a particular muscle, but another muscle around it will take up the tension to protect that released muscle. So I hope I'm making sense there, and I think that's really important. I tend to like doing sort of this sort of motion where, like I said, I release, tense, and then I move the tension along other muscles while I release that muscle, and I like to do it gradually. Like I said, I like to put everything back into neutral and alignment, and it feels that when I do it like that in that sort of gradual range, it will help bring everything back to alignment. Okay, now I'm going to move towards the floor. So I like doing it on the floor because I feel like the gravity and pushing against my arms somehow allows to pull in the stretch and to exaggerate my stretch just a little bit without risking anything that I'm doing. So first I like to do the typical stretchy cat stretch, which is along here. I can feel my tummy now, and then bring it up. And then move into a stretch. And so now it's released. But I've got other muscles working into it, and now I'm just going to work back into the stomach vacuum as I'm coming up. And then stretch it so it stretches to the front part. You can push against it. It always feels great. This to stretch it. I'm stretching it now along the front near my chest, and back down again. Front. Okay, so the other one that I like to do is I come down like a push-up. But it's like you push down and you use the gravity and your arms to stretch, and then you're stretching your arms while you're also stretching your stomach and your back shoulders and your spine and the front part of your muscles and your abs. I think this one I like a lot, and I tend to do this one a lot because it will isolate one side. You'll be able to focus on one side and then focus on the other side. So I love doing this because of that. So I just pull that back. Not sure if you can see. There. And now it feels like I'm sort of able to stretch like us on the side or a different sort of muscle when I do that. Along here, along the obliques sort of. And now I'm going to do the same on the other side. That gives a nice stretch, a range of stretch. Back up again. I actually feel like doing one last cat stretchy like. Come back up. And what I like to do is I like to kind of walk around and come on up. Okay, there you have it, folks. Thank you very much for joining in this workout, very unusual workout. I hope you've stretched everything out, aligned everything, gotten everything back into neutral. If you have any questions, any comments, please feel welcome to do so. And if you like the video, please give it a like and subscribe so you can encourage me to do more videos like this one. Thank you very much for coming to the dance that we love so much, and I'll see you in the next video.